Hi everyone, welcome to Flow Session 32, and it's on soul health because I feel it's really important, something to face of what's going on the planet right now. So let's take a moment to ground and I'll explain more. So I'd just like you to relax and listen if you feel drawn to continue to listen. Because soul health is about either telling the story we want life to be or listening to our spirit and clear spirit guidance. So when you're blocking spirit guidance, it's normally because of attachments to the story you want in life instead of what your soul path has agreed to live out as your spirit, your human self, your spiritual path. So on the board, I've just taken a few notes on what I'm talking about. Attachment to doing things in 3D associated with a story we want to live out, when there could be signs that are very clear that the story and path is different for you, but it's hard to give up. So the attachments, examples in 3D could go on and on, that the human is so enthralled in living out and trying with all energy to raise up a particular story in life that is actually draining to keep the story up. And we have found ourselves on earth doing this and draining ourselves and finding ourselves with various conditions, questioning why it's happening to us. So it's important to observe life and the symbols and signals that will tell you emotionally, mentally, or physically, via the vibration of how you feel, whether you're pushing forward into something and utilizing a lot of energy and feel like you have to push it all uphill, or you're using discernment in a way that you have to take in spirit guidance because you are a spirit soul on a path, predetermined somewhat contractually with the design of the soul experience on earth. We make these arrangements to meet with certain people, assist the dimensions we live in to assist the planet. So these things are going to keep being reminded of us, and there may be challenges to go through, but the challenges are always because we're being assisted towards the predestined pathway, which is good. We're serving ourselves and all. So it becomes really clear when we're not following that And instead, if we are doing this more, which the examples are like wanting more in the world, so being known, like popularity or money or image, these things are inviting, but they're not soulful. It's not like where you'll find meaning in your life. It's where you'll find some enjoyment. You've come to explore a planet, live on a planet, feel these various things. As though impressing this kind of power is everything that makes you for this whole experience, instead of soul health, which is the discernment. So you sit back and you kind of notice, I'm being guided to do this thing. I don't really want to do it, but I think there might be something in it for my soul, like for something deeper in me, something I don't know yet. Now, if you know that, you got to take the time with that. The discernment would be to gently follow that gentle prompting from within. The signs are showing you this direction. And then that's where you have the strengths in you need to raise their head. So like you get through the challenges by allowing your strengths to come forth, like courage, being a bit brave, putting yourself into unknown, unfamiliar kind of experiences, because there is an unknown path yet. Like it's there, but you don't know it all yet. So signs from spirit become clearer and clearer. And I do that action from the chest outwards because we can feel it here at the chest. But with the two eyes, we're busy in stories looking at other things. So you really just have to take notice of the balance of that. So like the joining of this balance. Am I focusing too much on the outside world and this story that I'm working so hard at? And am I following or listening to and being guided by anything of spirit? Which will include some of this side, but not all of it. Can I balance the enjoyment in the world and all these things and follow guidance? Because the human gets himself into this tight little spiral instead of an expanded state of working with the universe. So like this, for example, if you follow spirit, you would be like listening. It would expand you, your strengths. Therefore, like what you attract in will be matching this expansion of the soul, right? But you're still in this world, being a part of all this, and this will play into this. But you can't fully play into the material world and expect your soul to be expanding. So this side, the human gets themselves into a tight little knot of, I want it to be all here, but then you're still a spirit here to do this. We are not just material beings. And that, listening to that balance and getting it right, not ignoring this side, it's all out here in the stories when it's not. When you listen to both, you'll have soul health, and that will show in your body, mind, heart, and soul. You will follow the callings and realize there is contentment in it for your soul. I know this, I've done it, and I will not stop being a representation of it, like just being that. Because I've come here at this time, like a lot of us, but I am fully aligned to the clarity of spirit and us, heaven and earth, balance, And that balance is exactly what I've been saying. It is clearing out the excess, as though out there is where we'll find ourselves. It's not. We're here to experience it, but get it in balance with your soul, spirit, signs. So I wrote this in big writing because this is what's happening. Attachment to doing things in the 3D can go on and on and on, and it makes people's behavior be less soul and spirited oriented, so less contentment inside, which means less contentment is shown out there. Disappointment with what's going on out there, because there's disappointment in here, because they're only focusing on out there. It's why we have the battles and certain leaders, some leaders at the moment, doing what they're doing. I'm only going to find my contentment when I take it out on you. I'm only going to be fulfilled and look good when I blame that it's you out there. And if we were following our signs of spirit, which the human plan design is, you're going to have challenges down there. And I used to call it, not all the time, but spiritual teachers would say Earth School. But recently when I heard Earth University, that's more like it. Because people get caught up in the school, in the challenge. You know, I'm being punished, or, you know, the teacher is punishing me, or I'm not good enough, and all this bickering drama nonsense that can go in school classrooms. But this now is like, get into university, y'all, because like I was saying, I and many others are representing the decline in excess ego. So educate yourself in whether you are expending your energy outwards to get something from out there. Like expending. Why aren't I getting? Life is unfair. You're going to have to find activities that bring you back home to yourself. And I mean home to yourself, not, oh yeah, I meditate occasionally and I do some spiritual practice, yeah. But most of the time, I'm looking outward for my fulfillment. Okay, because this really is fulfillment. Recognizing that you are a spirit as well. That we have the two eyes, like in my last flow message, the two eyes, or we have the inner eye. So if you let your two eyes be your guide, then your internal world's going to be empty. But if you have the third eye, which is also connected in and down at the chest, you're going to correlate all eyes. You're going to be looking out at the world, but you're also going to be aligned inside. So it takes discernment and the sharing of spiritual teachers for you to connect up whether you are operating most of your time looking outward. Okay, because that's what it is. You can't say you meditate and do spiritual practices if still in life the majority of your fulfillment is based on pleasing out there or being pleased from out there. When you live the internal world first, it's a complete different energy shift. Instead of you feeling distant, longing, and gotta get each day, you feel more like a foundational, connected to heaven and earth expression of your inner self. And firstly, the expression is felt by you. Now, if you don't feel that difference, if you don't go through a shift and change in life where you know that foundation within first, you'll know that you're still operating out there because it is a different way of life. And it does feel like going from operating with two eyes, like full presence out there, to one connection within. And from that one connection, you start to feel the wholeness, firstly, that you can't describe, and it's not something you can pick up a book or flick through your phone and find. It's being available to emphasize to yourself that there is a quiet, subtle energy presence that is myself. Now, I need to let that grow and nourish. Which reminds me also of my new Nourish Street red shirt. I love the design of these shirts and the meaning behind it. Homeless assistance. Much needed requirement. So you nourish this space and if you don't, you'll have issues with life. If you nourish the space first, you start to find a joy in your own depth. And although I'm starting to sound serious in the clarity of that, it's not far-reaching or out there. It's not like, if I get serious about my internal world, I'm going to have to feel certain things. What that certain thing is more of a presence for the human, nourished capabilities to feel joy in themselves. If you could just take that in for a moment, nourished capabilities of feeling joy in your being for yourself. It is probably one of the most humbling statements that takes you from, oh no, joy is found out there, to joy is found in here. First. And then I take you a step deeper, stop, and appreciate that. Okay? That would be where you find you'll experience the soul university. Because you don't stop learning and things don't become perfect and all that, kind of joyful, all perfection. They become depth, joy first, contentment. And from there, make sure you don't put demands on the world, but you have the healthy inclination, boundary for yourself that you will allow your soul to rise up to that joy being and participate in the world. And I'll tell you why. Because people don't put life on earth with appreciation that says, I'm a spirit, right? Just follow me here. I'm a spirit temporarily on earth in this vessel. I'm going to put that as most important. Now, when you put that as most important, you don't expend yourself for anything, just like anything. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. You don't expend yourself outwardly for the sake of anything. You say to yourself, and I am coming from my experience of dialogue with soul and spirit guidance, but you do say to yourself, is this for me to give of myself, or is this just something that I'm doing for the sake of pleasing or something outward? So it's basically a check-in with yourself whether you're going to have a power trip play in the world, which doesn't serve you necessarily, or you're going to come home to yourself and say, can I enjoy this activity easily with some joy? Is this for me? Am I going to, and not escape challenge, but am I going to, do I want to follow this path? Is this, is this an interplay of empty power tripping, or can I be present as myself in joy? I think that's it. Can I be present as myself in joy? Through this activity, checking in with myself, that I am maintaining that importance. Because that is my vessel's health. Because we are energy beings and we don't have endless time on earth, and we don't have endless reservoir to fulfill everyone. We must take care of who we truly are, our internal beings, so that the vessel is content. That's when we have more impact, because we're at health. So if people tell you not to enjoy your work or not to enjoy your day, or you don't have to be happy in a relationship, just stay, it's not ultimate truth. It's a power play trip to keep you the same. Okay? Because joy will enable your being to experience. And that's the truth. You're not here permanently. Okay, so you have to kind of ground the discernment in what I'm saying, that this is where it's at as energy beings. So it is an unspiraling back into yourself for the wider spiral to meet you, so that you know this is your wholeness. All right? It's not, don't work hard to bring everything into your spiral so you feel fulfilled. Come home to yourself, connect with the whole, which is, if I can give you one pointer, it is go through your life with the various, what is perceived challenges, but always check in with yourself whether you're giving your power away to it or you are strengthening yourself through it. Because the strengthening is the joy. The strengthening is the living and the availability to receive. So I'm walking consciously through this life, which is not meant to be perfect. I have to see from within my way through it to become more of who I am. In that is where there becomes more joy attraction in the balance. Like you feel the joy, you're seeing more things that you enjoy as you're getting through any challenge. You know, exactly like this, working together with the world and not ignoring that you must strengthen and show your face from within. Thank you everybody for joining me. I hope you got a lot out of it, because I feel the true purpose in sharing is of benefit. So the only thing I will leave you with to summarize why I did this was, in these scales of life, find out what soul health is for you, and where there may be excess stories you're trying to uphold that don't feel right. Because the human's going to be healthy if they're listening to the soul, because you can't avoid it. You're going to feel foundational. You're going to feel, yeah, I have challenges sometimes, but I come home to my soul and I ask what's for me and what's not for me, and I don't get involved in excess and even indulgent particular stories where life has to be and will not shift and will not change and has to be this way. Because if that has any kind of negative repercussions, it's ego. Excess ego is not being supported because of the rising consciousness. Light beings, lighter beings. So you can think of it as heavy feelings, heavy, got to keep doing. Oh, I just feel in balance and light. Okay, well, I've got to bring that into my life. And some shit has to go. Some stories, some stuff I keep trying to do. Because you'll keep getting signs that it's not working and it's got to go. God bless, much love, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.